Hi everyone, welcome back to Total Online Reputation. So last course we taught you a secret trick of the trade on how to try and take down an online complaint permanently. The trick was to offer something free in exchange for the removal of the complaint. But what if that doesn't work? What if the original poster either ignores your email, refuses it, or maybe even doesn't get it? Here's when it's time to put on your thinking caps and get creative. Remember that online reputation management is part art, part science. And one of the ways you need to separate yourself from the big guys is by thinking outside the box and being willing to try different avenues to achieve your goal. Here are 5 strategies to consider. They start from polite and friendly to the all-out nuclear option. Remember that which one you try will depend on the type of website you're dealing with, their general policies, and the situation of your client. The first strategy is to contact the website and ask for their media kit or advertising rates. Check it out, negotiate as best you can, and say that you'd like to buy some ad space. Then, at the last minute before you sign the insertion order agreement, email them and tell them you saw the negative review of you on their website. Show them full documentation to prove that you are in the right and that the other side is either mistaken or lying. Then ask that they take down that complaint before you proceed with signing the ad agreement. Oftentimes, the incentive of ad sales will trump the editorial decision to keep a piece of content up. Again, this will likely work better with smaller sites than larger ones, but you never know. The worst they can say is no. This strategy would only work, of course, if the website actually sells advertising. If they're using some third-party system like Google AdWords or DoubleClick, where they have no control over ad inventory or ad serving, then it probably won't work. So what if they don't have any ads on the site at all? Then the second strategy is to contact the website owner and ask them to take down the complaint because the poster's info is simply incorrect. They are either lying or badly mistaken. If you go down this route, you better make sure that the facts are on your side. Make sure to have everything documented. Dates, prices, links to information that back up your side of the story. Lay out a compelling case just like a lawyer would, and politely request that the website owner take down the complaint due to inaccuracy. Summarize that you would hate for their site to get a reputation for having people post inaccurate information or outright lies which would ultimately damage the credibility of their website. The third strategy is a follow-up to the second. Should the second strategy fall flat on its face completely, you may wish to consider pulling out the big guns and threaten legal action. But again, make sure the facts are on your side before considering this option. Remind them that you've tried to provide all the evidence to them to prove that the poster is lying or mistaken. And then suggest that if they don't remove it, you may have no recourse but to pursue legal action. Now, a couple of things about this. I'm not a lawyer, and we aren't remotely qualified to give you legal advice. And any action you take should be thought through with your own legal counsel. We are merely giving you possible options. That being said, sometimes just the threat of legal action is enough to convince a website owner to pull down the post rather than face the headache and cost of defending a lawsuit. To be safe, they may decide to pull it, even if they are in the right in keeping the post up. Important note, don't try this against Ripoff Report, Piss Consumer, or Complaints Board. These mega sites have been sued consistently and have never lost. The fourth strategy is another follow-up to the third, and is the nuclear option. This is where you hire a lawyer to actually draft a letter threatening legal action should they not take down the post. If I were a website owner and I received a letter like this, I'd likely decide keeping the post up isn't worth it. Now, this isn't going to work all the time, and as I just said, it's been tried on websites like Ripoff Reports, Piss Consumer, and Complaints Board. The courts have consistently sided with the website's right to allow users the freedom of speech, with the key case being one in 2007, where a federal ruling found that Ripoff Report was not required to remove reports whatsoever. Websites are generally protected by a law called the Communications Decency Act, which protects sites with user-generated content. Yeah, it kind of sucks, because it means that they can post whatever they want, but that's why you're here to learn how to protect you or your clients on how to combat this. With that being said, it costs quite a bit defending yourself against a lawsuit, especially if you are a small business or entrepreneur without the benefit of a large legal budget. Now, I want to stress again that before trying options 3 and 4, you consult your own legal counsel. If you don't have a go-to lawyer, search on Elance for lawyers in this domain and see if they'll take this on as a small project for a much lower cost than it would if you were to retain a law firm. These days with the internet, you can definitely find lawyers willing to do per project work for quite reasonable prices. Keep in mind that you always need to maintain a professional attitude. Do not resort to lies of your own. Do not insult them. Remember the line, just the facts. Build a logical case why it makes sense for them to take down a complaint. By keeping your tone civil, you'll go a long way towards convincing them to do so. The fifth and final option is the most costly, but it has been proven to work in certain circumstances. You can request Google take down a complaint by delisting the website from its index using a court order. The website would still be active, but it wouldn't show up in Google's search results. And that's all that really matters from an online reputation management standpoint. The fifth strategy has 3 steps of its own. I don't want to sound like a broken record, but consult your own lawyers. We're just laying out a hypothetical strategy that has worked for others in the past. Step 1 is to file a lawsuit against the original author of the report for defamation, business disparagement, false light, or any other claim that is legally appropriate. The key here is you need to be able to prove successfully in a court of law that you are in the right and they are not. So this will only work if the complaint truly is a lie and you have the facts to back it up. I want to emphasize that you are suing the author of the report, not Google. Suing Google is like a gnat fighting an elephant. You definitely do not want to turn Google and have their full power of their legal team on you. And you want Google to be your friend, not your enemy. Step 2, if you win your case, is to obtain a court order declaring the offending report to be false and defamatory. Refer to the actual offending report specifically. Step 3 is to present the court order to Google. Google has been good in honoring the court orders and removing them from their search results. And where the listing used to be in Google's search results, you see something like this. In response to legal requests submitted to Google, we have removed one result from this page. If you wish, you may read more about the request at chillingeffects.org. This last option is time-consuming and can be costly, so I'm going to repeat myself. Get good legal counsel before doing anything. I want to give credit to Kenton Hutcherson of Hutcherson Law in Dallas, Texas for the 5th strategy. So there you have it. We've taught you some proven methods to take down complaints. These won't work well with the big boys like Ripoff Report, but they certainly do work with blogs, YouTube reviews, and other types of websites. I hope these strategies have gotten you to thinking. Be creative in coming up with ways that could help you or your client permanently take down complaints. You just might end up finding a new effective way to combat online lies. And if you do, feel free to share them with us, and we'll make sure to credit you if we mention them in the future. Thank you.